I'm Will Dove.
And I'm Hannah Byrne, and these are the top stories for today, Tuesday, June 24th. Donald Trump announced a ceasefire last night between Israel and Iran, but it has proven shaky at best. The NATO summit begins today in the Netherlands, where Carney is stopping short of making any new commitments, and a special report on the best clothing choices for those of you suffering through the heat wave in the central and eastern parts of the country.
A hopeful ceasefire deal brokered by U.S. President Donald Trump between Israel and Iran has, in the intervening hours, been both reported as holding and not. Last night, Trump declared he had achieved a complete and total ceasefire between the two nations, following nearly 2 weeks of intense missile exchanges, a period dubbed by Trump as the 12-day war. The agreement was meant to follow a cooling-off period during which each nation would wind down ongoing military operations. The ceasefire announcement came after the U.S. launched major airstrikes over the weekend on 3 Iranian nuclear sites, Fordow, Natanz, and Esfahan, using bunker-buster bombs and decoy bombers. Iran retaliated by attacking the largest U.S. military base in the Middle East, though no Americans were injured and no major damage was reported. Iran also responded with a barrage of missile attacks on Israeli cities, killing 28 people and injuring over 3,000, according to Israeli medical officials. Over 500 missiles were launched by Iran, with approximately 30 striking Israeli territory. Following Trump's announcement of the ceasefire, early this morning Israel accused Iran of breaching the agreement by launching ballistic missiles shortly after it was meant to take effect. The Israel Defense Forces stated that 2 ballistic missiles were intercepted. Sirens were reported in Israel before 6 a.m. local time. The attack resulted in 4 people killed and at least a dozen injured when missiles struck a residential building in southern Israel. In response, Israeli Defense Minister Israel Katz said he had instructed the IDF to respond forcefully to Iran's violation of the ceasefire with intense strikes against regime targets in the heart of Tehran. Israel claimed it had agreed to Trump's ceasefire only after believing Iran's dual immediate existential threat of nuclear weapons and ballistic missiles had been neutralized by the U.S. strikes. Iran, for its part, maintained a contradictory stance. Foreign Minister Abbas Araghchi claimed Tehran had stopped its retaliation at 4 a.m. local time, but denied the existence of any formal ceasefire agreement with Israel. He stated that Iran had no intention to continue military operations if Israel ceased its attacks, as per Trump's announced plan. Trump himself expressed frustration with both sides. On his Truth Social platform, he suggested Iran might have fired perhaps by mistake, and criticized Israel for aggressively striking Iran during the ceasefire's early hours. Reports from this afternoon seem to suggest that both sides have now stopped firing. However, given the nature of the region, it seems unlikely the current ceasefire will hold.